Heartwarming moment, two twin girls beg for bread, Millionaire's incredible act of kindness revealed. In a small Midwestern town, the stark chill of winter swept through the streets, blending with the warmth of an extraordinary moment. 10-year-old twins, Sarah and Lily, cheeks rosy and voices bright, stood outside an old brick building. With the grocery store's shelves growing emptier, their hearts were filled with both hope and desperation. They needed bread for their ailing mother, a simple item that felt impossibly far away. The laughter of the girls echoed even against the biting wind, as they huddled together, pawing through the snow. "Maybe we can ask for help," Sarah suggested, her eyes sparkling with innocent determination. Lily nodded, her brow furrowed in thought. "Yeah. Just a loaf. Or two." With a shared grin, the twins crossed the street, stepping closer to their uncertain future. Little did they know, their humble quest would ripple through their community in unexpected ways. They bravely approached strangers, their voices small yet earnest. "Excuse me, sir, could you spare some bread?" They couldn't have anticipated the glances filled with pity and confusion that followed. Some hurried on, uninterested, while others paused, contemplating the faces of two young girls navigating hardship. Among the dismissive crowd was Ethan, a well-dressed businessman, preoccupied with profit margins and deadlines. Just as he turned away, their innocent voices reached him. "Please. We just need some food for our mom." Suddenly, something tugged at his chest. He returned, faced with the raw, unfettered truth of their struggle. Ethan listened, heart sinking as they recounted their family's challenges. A wave of humanity surged inside him, breaking the barriers built by wealth and ambition. He honored their courage, but he knew mere cash wouldn't pave the path to dignity. He shared his idea, a food drive, allowing the twins to become the heart and soul of the initiative. Excitement bubbled in the girls' hearts. "We can do this!" exclaimed Lily, bouncing in place. They dove into planning, organizing, and inspiring their town, filling their days with laughter and purpose. "Together, we can help everyone." Sarah cheered, her spirit unyielding, yet, with hope on the horizon came shadows. As the drive gained momentum, jealousy brewed among neighbors. Whispers accompanied their every step, casting uncertainty over their efforts. Lies began to spread, undermining their intentions, leaving pockets of doubt that festered where friendship once flourished. One afternoon, as the sun set on a fragile peace, the tension peaked. A cruel rumor echoed through the streets, shaking confidence in Sarah and Lily's mission. Broken friendships tore at the fabric of their community, leaving the girls feeling lost amidst the discord. Struggling to find clarity, a dark cloud loomed over them, self-doubt clutching at their young hearts. Just when it seemed like their light was fading, they leaned into each other, finding solace in their sisterhood. "We can't give up," Sarah whispered, determination hardening her resolve. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. In the thick of their turmoil, the community had begun to watch them closely. Could the twins navigate these treacherous waters? Just as they began to seek answers, a shocking revelation threatened to upend everything they had fought for, leaving the very thread of their connection hanging in the balance. Would they rise above the storms swirling around them, or was this truly the end of their dream? In the days that followed, Sarah and Lily poured their hearts into the food drive, their determination a light against the growing shadows. Each afternoon, they stood under the old oak tree in the park, a gathering place turned beacon, rallying support from anyone who would listen. The whispers of doubt still lingered, like echoes in their minds, but they pressed on, fueled by their love for their mother and the hope of helping others. People began to arrive, their faces hesitant at first, unsure whether they should offer help to the tiny twins leading this ambitious mission. But slowly, the warmth of the girls' spirit melted the icy barriers. Donations trickled in canned goods, flour, and even a few loaves of bread. The girls' hearts swelled with gratitude. Every can collected felt like a small victory, a testament that their courage was not in vain. But one night, as they sat cross-legged on the living room floor, counting everything they had gathered, the weight of the community's judgment crashed over them. What if no one really wants to help? Lily sighed, her voice barely above a whisper, the doubt creeping back in. Sarah's voice wavered, but she steadied herself. People just need to see we're trying to really believe in us. Yet, deep down, both girls felt the gnawing uncertainty. They were kids trying to take on too much. The next day, after a difficult morning at school filled with unkind looks from classmates, they returned home to find a letter slipped under their door. It was an anonymous note filled with cruel words, mocking their efforts and calling them phonies. The girls' faces fell as they read it again and again, anger and sadness mingling in their chests. What if they're right? Sarah finally asked, her voice trembling. What if we make everything worse? Lily clenched her fists, frustration bubbling to the surface. We can't let some stupid letter stop us. We need to do this for Mom and for everyone else who needs help. Gathering their resolve, they decided to confront the rumors head-on. They organized a community meeting, inviting everyone to share their thoughts and fears, hoping to mend the rifts that had formed. As they prepared for the meeting, they practiced their speech together, finding strength in their sisterly bond. The night of the meeting, nerves fluttered in Sarah's stomach as they stood before their neighbors in the town hall. The room was dim, filled with familiar faces that had suddenly turned so distant. We're here because we believe in something, started Lily, her voice steadier than she felt. We believe that helping one another makes us stronger. The crowd remained silent, but their eyes were fixed on the twins. We're just little girls, Sarah added, her heart pounding as she glanced over the faces. But we can still make a difference. Please, tell us what you think. One neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, finally broke the silence. I've seen you both working hard, she said, her voice softening. Your hearts are in the right place. With her words, others began to share thoughts of support, unveiling their own struggles and willingness to help. As the meeting continued, hope blossomed in the room. New friendships formed, and the twins felt the warmth of unity slowly dispel the chill of doubt. Just as Sarah and Lily started to breathe again, someone stood up at the back, a figure shrouded in mystery, overshadowing the newfound light. I know who started the rumor, the voice rang out, crisp and clear, sending a shiver through the crowd. Whispers erupted through the room, silencing everything they had just built. Suddenly, the laughter and warmth felt fragile again, and the twins exchanged frightened glances. Had they really escaped the storm, or was this just the calm before the worst of it? The tension in the room thickened as the stranger stepped forward, their face obscured by shadows. Sarah's heart raced. She felt the collective breath of the crowd holding at that moment, a fragile silence that seemed to echo memories of doubt and shame. Who is it? She thought, her pulse quickening. I saw a group of kids laughing and pointing while you were collecting food, the figure continued, their voice cutting through the stillness. They think it's a joke that you two are trying to help. They think you're just playing dress up. Lily's stomach knotted at the words, anger pulsing through her. To see her sister's face pale as the truth sank in twisted something inside her. Why are they doing this? She wanted to scream, but instead her mind reeled with tighter knots of frustration and fear. From the back, Mrs. Jenkins' voice broke through once more. We all see the good you're trying to do. Who cares what some kids say? You're strong, and despite the rumors, you have more supporters than you realize. A ripple of murmurs of agreement surged through the crowd, trying desperately to push away the shadows woven by that harsh revelation. Look! Lily exclaimed, finding her voice amidst the rising frenzy. We may have started this as a small food drive for our mom, but it's grown into something so much bigger. It's about our community. It's about care. We can't let those voices tear us down. Her words struck like lightning. An older man, Mr. Thompson, rose unsteadily from his chair. You're right, girls. I was in a dark place once, but community is what pulled me out. If we stand together, we're stronger than those few who want to pull us apart. His voice wobbled but carried strength. Eyes began to widen as more people stood to share their experiences, stories flowing freely. The atmosphere brightened, more faces turning toward the twins with kind glances. Sarah felt warmth blooming within her, igniting a flame of hope though she remembered the sneers of past cruelty. Then, just as their spirits began to lift, the shadowed figure took a step forward. Why should anyone care what you think you're doing? You're just kids, after all. Are you really prepared to see this through? For a moment, Sarah felt the air leave her lungs. Maybe we are just kids, she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. But we wanted to make a difference, just like everyone else here. A hand shot up to wipe her cheek, and Lily squeezed her sister's hand tightly. We want to let you take this from us, we're not afraid. A heavy silence fell again, but this time it was different. Disbelief turned into determination, faces reflecting resolve and support. People were deciding where they stood, and the twins could feel that pivotal moment. Before the stranger could retort, a soft but firm voice broke through the tension, bringing the room to an almost stunned silence. Enough, Mrs. Jenkins declared, stepping forward, her frame small but filled with purpose. What these girls are doing matters. It's not just about food. It's about love, resilience, and community. If you can't see that, then you're the one who doesn't belong here. The gathering transformed. Claps broke out, rising to a crescendo, cheering for the twins as their world filled with light again. Encouraged, they stood tall, taking in the newfound support wrapping around them. But as they took a deep breath, ready to share their next steps, the back door swung open harshly. In stepped a figure from their childhood, an unwelcome face. Did someone say community? Well, I have some news that might change everything. What could this person bring but chaos? Sarah felt the anxiety rise again like goosebumps, a rediscovered dread weaving back into her heart. Could this stranger shift the tides once more? Lily felt her heart drop as her gaze locked on the familiar face that had just entered. It was Mason, a kid they used to know in elementary school. Back then, his laughter echoed through the hallways, but now it felt like as if he had stepped out of a different world, one entirely changed by wealth and privilege. You're back in town, huh? Lily managed to stutter, not hiding her surprise completely. What are you doing here? Mason shrugged, a smirk tugging at his lips. Just passing by. Heard there was some charity thing going on, thought I'd see how the other half lives. The tension was palpable. The warmth that had just embraced the room seemed to evaporate, leaving a chill in its wake. Sarah instinctively moved closer to Lily, their fingers intertwined tightly as if forming a protective barrier against Mason. Mrs. Jenkins stepped forward again, trying to hold her ground. This is about people helping people, Mason. You used to understand that. Why don't you try again? He laughed dismissively. What a touching sentiment, he replied, his tone dripping with sarcasm. But here's the reality, you think you can change things? You're just kids, remember? People like me. He paused for effect, we don't care about charity work. We're busy, making real impacts. Real impacts. Sarah's voice was stronger now, the fire within her igniting with anger. You think being busy with your life somehow makes you better? Community is what brings us together. This isn't a game for us. Mason looked momentarily taken aback, but quickly regained composure. Be careful. You don't want to burn your bridges. But the crowd wasn't shrinking back. More voices emerged, ordinary people, emboldened by the twin spirit. One after another, they began to chime in with stories of hardship, resilience, and the importance of community support. Girl power. One woman exclaimed, unable to contain her enthusiasm. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Another added, tears glistening in her eyes. Sarah and Lily exchanged a glance, a quiet understanding passing between them. It was quiet determination coupled with appreciation. This wasn't just their fight anymore, it was everyone's. What I have to say might change the way you all think, Mason interrupted, regaining his attitude. I just so happen to know a couple of local businesses. I could help turn this food drive into something bigger, but only if you're willing to listen to me. The room hushed once again, anticipation hanging heavy in the air. What did he want? Another layer of compromise, or was there something genuine beneath the bravado? Why should we trust you? Lily challenged, brow furrowing with skepticism. Because whether you like it or not, I hold the key, he replied, a sly smile creeping across his face. Or I can just walk away. The choice is yours. Around them, whispers filled in the gaps. This unexpected twist left everyone wondering what to believe. Can we trust his offer? Sarah murmured, worry so evident on her face. I'm not sure, Lily replied, uncertainty swirling in her gut. But if he has connections, we can't ignore that even if he's a jerk. The clock was ticking. The fate of their project and potentially their community hung in the balance. But one question loomed larger than all the rest: was Mason genuinely offering help, or did his presence hint at a darker, hidden agenda? Caught in a storm of conflicting feelings, Sarah took a deep breath. This decision might change everything. Did they dare to take a chance on him? The moment of truth had come. Mason's smirk faded slightly as he scanned the room. The tension radiating from Lily and Sarah was palpable. The crowd's rising voices were like a heartbeat, thumping insistently against the silence that Mason had tried to cultivate. Every eye in the room was on him, waiting. Okay, let's say we listen, Lily said, her voice steady despite the nerves flipping in her stomach. But what would it even look like? We don't need your condescension, Mason. Can you work with us, really? His expression shifted, perhaps surprised to find his former classmates holding their ground. He leaned back against the wall, arms folded. Well, he began, a more serious tone creeping in, I can connect you with some influential people. Restaurants, businesses, they can provide food in bulk. We could turn this drive into something substantial. And what's in it for you? Sarah shot back, her skepticism unyielding. You can't just swoop in, offer help, and expect nothing in return. Nothing, Mason replied, the sincerity in his eyes shifting. Look, I understand I'm not exactly the hometown hero right now. Maybe I can't change who I am, but I'm still tied to this place. Perhaps part of me wants to do something right for a change. The crowd held its breath. Sarah's jaw tightened, and she glanced sideways at Lily. Was there a glimmer of honesty beneath Mason's bravado? Or was he simply playing another game? What about the others? One man spoke out from the back. We're not just doing this for a few donations. This is about rebuilding trust in our community. How can we trust you? Mason's face hardened, and for a brief moment, his bravado slipped away. You don't need to trust me. Just trust the impact we could make together. Lily felt a surge of something, whether it was hope or hesitation, she couldn't tell. The room felt insatiably electric, every flicker of energy tangling in knotty discussions, people whispering and questioning, absorbed in the dilemma of it all. What do you think? Sarah leaned closer to Lily, whispering just for her ears. Do we take a chance? Can we afford to trust him? She met her twin's gaze. The question almost broke her heart. Did they even want help from someone like Mason? But then again, even someone like him might be capable of change. Maybe change starts here, Lily murmured back, trying to convince herself as much as Sarah. If he's willing to help, we could turn this around, and maybe we could keep him accountable too. Mason, who had been listening, suddenly straightened. I can prove it to you if you want, he said, enthusiasm creeping back into his voice. I can arrange a meeting with one of the businesses I know tomorrow. You'll see, we can mobilize this drive faster than you think. A low murmur erupted in the crowd, anticipation washing over them. Sarah held Lily's hand tighter. Are we really considering this? Lily nodded slowly, the weight of the decision heavy on her shoulders. I think so, but we have to set our terms. This isn't just about numbers. It's about our community. Agreed, Sarah responded, determination flaring in her eyes. If we're taking a leap, we do it on our terms. Mason's expression shifted, and for the first time, he looked smaller, almost vulnerable. Fair enough. I'm only here to help, if you'll let me. As the air shifted, the potential for change swirled around them like a whisper. But among the threads of hope and skepticism, a deeper worry nudged at the edges of Lily's mind. Could they truly rely on Mason, or was his offer just a stepping stone towards something darker? With their project now intertwined with Mason's promise, Lily knew they had a decision to make, one that could reinforce their community or unravel them entirely. Tomorrow's meeting loomed, heavy with uncertainty. What would they uncover when the truth came to light? The sun rose slowly the next day, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The air was crisp, carrying with it a mix of hope and anxiety as Lily prepared for the meeting. She stood in front of the mirror, silently coaxing confidence into her reflection. Her heart raced, each beat echoing in the stillness of the early morning. Lily. Are you ready? Sarah called from downstairs, her voice slicing through Lily's swirling thoughts. Almost. She shouted back, tucking a stray hair behind her ear. She could feel her sister's restlessness, a mirror of her own. Stepping into her jeans and a simple top, Lily took a deep breath. This was her chance to not only change their community but to challenge everything she thought she knew about Mason. The way he had looked at them last night, a flicker of vulnerability in his confidence, lingered in her mind. Was he genuinely interested in making amends? When they finally arrived at the cafe where the meeting was scheduled, the atmosphere felt electrifying. The small establishment bustled with local patrons, its cozy comfort contrasting sharply with the tension brewing inside Lily's chest. She spotted Mason already inside, animatedly speaking to a man in a suit. See that guy? That's Mr. Roberts, Mason commented as he noticed them enter. He owns a chain of supermarkets. He can help us with food supplies, like, a lot of food. Let us hope he's willing, Sarah said, her voice low but steady. Mason nodded, leading the twins to a table just as Mr. Roberts turned his attention to them. He was a stout man, his face friendly but marked with years of hard work. The three of them took their seats. Glad you could make it, Robert said, extending a hand to shake theirs. Mason tells me you're initiating a food drive? Yes, Lily replied, her voice firmer than she felt. We're really looking to make a difference in the community. Good to hear. We've been needing more of that, Mr. Roberts responded, genuine warmth behind his words. Last month, we donated over 300 meals to families in need, but we could definitely scale up. As they delved into logistics, Lily felt a wave of optimism wash over her. Mason was engaged, contributing ideas that seemed legitimate, not just flashy promises. But part of her hesitated, questioning how long this enthusiasm would last. In terms of execution, Mason chimed in, I think we should leverage social media. Get the word out. If we can rally enough support, we could double the donations. Lily sensed a shift in the energy of the room. Mr. Roberts was nodding, engaged. It felt like momentum was building, like they were all pulling together towards something meaningful. However, a sudden sharp pang of worry surfaced. What if Mason's charisma was masking something else? Was there a reason he was so eager to help? Let us not get too ahead of ourselves, Sarah interjected, her protective instincts flaring. We need to consider the risks. We're not just talking about numbers, we're talking about people's trust. Mason's smile faltered briefly, and for a heartbeat, the room fell into a tense silence. I get it, he replied, more subdued. If it helps, just ask. I'm here to prove that I want this. To prove I can be someone you can trust. Lily's heart twisted at his sincerity. Perhaps he truly believed in change as much as she did. Or perhaps that longing for redemption was merely a facade. Mr. Roberts cleared his throat. The more transparency we have, the better. If everyone is on board, I can connect you to my marketing team. We'll make this happen. Lily exchanged glances with Sarah, who seemed to weigh the implications of this new alliance. Could they safeguard their vision while inviting Mason into it? The conversation resumed, but an unsettling feeling knotted in Lily's stomach. She turned her gaze out the window. The world was moving on outside, oblivious to the small battle raging within her. At that moment, a large, colorful poster caught her eye. It announced a charity event happening next week, a sign of hope in the air. Maybe that's where we start, she blurted out suddenly. A charity event to kick off the drive. It could get the community excited. Now that's an idea worth discussing, Mason's eyes brightened. As they dove into planning, excitement buzzed around them. But with every laugh shared over coffee and figures drawn on napkins, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that something was still looming. Just as laughter filled the room, reality pushed back against the promising atmosphere. What would happen if Mason's past haunted this effort? When the meeting finally wrapped up, a feeling of uncertainty lingered in the air. Lily's head swirled with possibilities. Was this truly the start of something new, or just the calm before a storm? Questions flooded her mind. Could they keep this fragile hope alive, or would Mason's dark past come back to shadow their dreams? Lily woke up the next morning, sunlight spilling into her room, harsh against the remnants of sleep. She lay there for a moment, entangled in the sheets, replaying the success of the meeting like a movie highlight reel. There was hope, and it felt foreign yet exhilarating. Still, the nagging worry about Mason lurked in the corners of her mind. Lily. You're going to be late. Sarah's voice broke through her thoughts. Okay. I'm coming. She called back, swinging her legs out of bed. After a quick shower and a hasty breakfast, they hurried out of the door. The air outside was electric, and as they walked toward the community center, Lily could feel the excitement around her. Posters advertising the charity event were everywhere, vibrant colors dancing on the walls of shops and lampposts. They were alive with a sense of potential, but there was that ever-present shadow of Mason's past, lingering just out of reach. Once inside the community center, they were greeted with bustling energy. Volunteers were already setting up tables, folding colorful flyers, and prepping materials. Lily felt a wave of purpose washing over her. Look, there's Jamie. Sarah pointed toward a familiar face. Jamie had always been influential in community projects. They rushed over, their footsteps echoing on the polished floor. Hey, girls. Jamie waved them over, eyes sparkling. Are you two ready for this? We're gearing up for the biggest charity event yet. Yeah. We've been inspired. With Mason's help and Mr. Roberts on board, we think we could really make an impact. Lily replied, trying to match Jamie's enthusiasm. But something in Jamie's expression shifted. Mason? She echoed, concern etched across her features. What about him? Sarah asked. I just want to make sure you're being careful. He has a reputation, and I know he wants to change, but can he be trusted? Lily clenched her jaw, torn between her optimism and the truth she felt under the surface. I think he deserves a chance to prove himself. Just like we deserve a chance to help others, she defended, even as a knot twisted in her stomach. The energy around them seemed high, yet a sense of unease clung to her. She had to trust herself. After Jamie moved on, they divided responsibilities among the volunteers. They put together banners, sorted supplies, and spread the word. Each task lit a fire in her chest, but every laugh shared was shadowed by that ominous thought of Mason's intentions. As the days started to wind down, a rumble of excitement announced Mason's arrival. He entered with a bright smile, seeming to lighten the mood. Hey team. I brought some snacks to keep the energy going. He announced, his laughter infectious. Lily watched as the other volunteers gathered around him, engaging and laughing. Something inside her wanted to join, to let the anxiety wash away. But the doubts hung like storm clouds, darkening her heart. "Mason," she called, her voice steadier than she felt. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" He turned, the brightness in his eyes dimming slightly. "Sure. What's up?" They stepped away from the bustling crowd, standing near a sun-drenched window, framed by soft beams of daylight. There it was, that flicker of vulnerability again. "I've been thinking about everything." "About you," she started. Her voice wavered, but she pressed on. "Is this really about helping the community? Or do you have something else you want to prove?" His expression faltered. "It's about both, I promise. I get it, my past isn't something I can run from. But I'm here to change it. To change me." Lily searched his face for deceit, but all she found was a fervent sincerity that caught her off guard. Was he being honest? Just then, Sarah appeared, her face flushed. "Guys, we just received a call from the radio station. They want to interview us about the event." Excitement rippled through the room, and for a second, the heaviness of doubt faded into the enthusiastic buzz of promising possibility. "See? This is it," Mason exclaimed, his previous tension easing into genuine joy. But Lily felt torn between wanting to share that joy and the deep-seated fear of what might follow. As they moved back to join the group, Lily's eyes drifted back to Mason, turmoil swirling within her. This path could lead to so much good, or it could unravel everything they hoped for. With the radio announcement lighting a fire under their plans, Lily couldn't help but wonder, was Mason the key to their success, or was he a wolf in sheep's clothing, threatening to derail everything they fought for? Would they be able to keep their hearts intact in the process? Time would soon tell. As the excitement from the radio announcement faded into a low hum, Lily felt swallowed by the crowd. The volunteers were abuzz, discussing preparations and logistics, but her heart raced for a different reason. Mason's words echoed in her mind, "I'm here to change it." Those words held a promise, but could he really live up to them? She found herself watching him as he effortlessly mingled with the group, his laughter infectious, his presence magnetic. It was hard to reconcile the person he was now with the shadows of his past that still clung to him. The way the others lit up around him only deepened her worry, the cautionary voice in her head growing louder. What if he's not who he says he is? "Lily. Are you daydreaming again?" Sarah nudged her gently, a playful grin on her face. "Sorry, just thinking," she replied, forcing a smile. But thoughts of Mason tangled with memories of Jamie's concerned expression. She kept searching for a sign that would ease her anxiety, something that could help her trust him. As the day progressed, the volunteers finalized their arrangements for the event. Banners hung low, and tables were filled to the brim with donated items. They had gathered an incredible amount of support, yet a cloud of uncertainty loomed over Lily. When they finally gathered to practice for the radio interview, Lily's heart thumped in her chest. She watched the way Mason interacted with the others, how effortlessly he shifted from talking about logistics to personal anecdotes that drew laughter from everyone. Yet, her focus kept drifting back to that lingering question: could he be the one to lead them toward success, or would he lead them into chaos? "All right, team. Let us make sure we stick to the highlights." Jamie clapped her hands to get everyone's attention. "Lily, I want you to be the first to speak. With your passion, the host will be hooked." The pressure mounted, yet Lily took a deep breath, willing the fluttering in her stomach to settle. She stepped up to the small podium, heart racing. As she spoke, her eyes flickered in Mason's direction, searching for reassurance. He stood toward the back, giving her a thumbs up, and for a moment, her nerves eased. "Hello, everyone. We're thrilled to announce our upcoming charity event," she began, her voice carrying a spark of enthusiasm. She continued, detailing their mission and the impact they hoped to achieve. Each word felt like a step towards change, and she could see the energy in the crowd shift, excitement building, but just as she was finding her rhythm, her eyes caught Mason's again. He was deep in conversation with another volunteer, the intensity of their exchange making her uneasy. Was he being genuine with them, or was he still locked into old habits? The interview wrapped up, and Jamie beamed at Lily. "You nailed it. You should have seen their faces. We're really on to something here." Lily smiled back, but the warmth of the moment didn't quite reach her heart. As the energy surged through the room, she couldn't shake off the knot in her stomach. Later that evening, when the day's activities started to wind down, Lily decided to take a walk outside for some fresh air. The sun was setting, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. She leaned against the cool metal railings of the community center's porch, lost in thought. "Mind if I join you?" Mason's voice broke through her solitude. She turned and met his gaze, that familiar flicker of vulnerability stirring in her chest. "I was just thinking about the interview." "You did great," he said, leaning against the rail beside her. "No, about us. About everything." His face shifted slightly. "What are you worried about?" "Honestly, I'm worried if this is really your chance to change, or just another way to mask your past." Mason studied her, his expression serious. "I want it to be real. I really do. I know I haven't been the person I want to be, but this is my shot at redemption." Lily wanted to believe him. She wanted to. But the push and pull of trust and doubt was exhausting. "I just don't want us to get hurt," she said softly. "Then let's make sure we protect each other," he replied. That promise hung in the air between them, a quiet yet powerful bond forming amidst uncertainty. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft glow around them, Lily wondered if trust could truly be built from nothing. They stood there in the waning light, silence thick with unspoken questions. Would this be the turning point that changed everything for them both, or merely the calm before the storm? Lily woke the next morning to the sound of her phone buzzing insistently on her nightstand. Squinting at the bright screen, she saw multiple messages flooding in from Jamie, each laced with excitement. "Get ready. Today's the day we put everything on the line." Her heart fluttered. The charity event they had been planning for weeks was finally upon them. She could almost feel the electric buzz of anticipation in the air, mixed with an undercurrent of her own apprehension. After a quick shower and a hasty breakfast, she slipped on the soft, blue sweater that made her feel confident and warm. She stared in the mirror, adjusting her hair until it fell just right. A soft knock on her front door brought her back to reality. "Hey, it's me." Mason called, his voice playful. Opening the door, Lily was taken aback by the sight of him dressed casually, yet effortlessly handsome. He flashed her a bright smile that melted her worries for just a moment. "You ready for the big day?" "Just about," she replied, trying to match his energy. "Good. I brought some coffee," he said, holding out a steaming cup. "Okay, you score points for that," Lily chuckled, taking the cup gratefully. "Just wait until the event starts, it's going to be incredible." Mason's enthusiasm was infectious. As they chatted about logistics and last-minute tweaks, Lily felt her doubts begin to dissipate like fog under the morning sun. When they arrived at the community center, the atmosphere buzzed with activity. Volunteers bustling, a vibrant array of decorations, and the unmistakable energy of hope filled the space. The event felt alive, calling to every heart that beat in the room, yet, as the moments unfolded, she noticed Mason slipping away to check on logistical details. It was easy for her to see him in the thick of it, his leadership compelling, his charm undeniable. But with every time he veered off to attend to something else, her heart clenched. Was he truly focused on them, or was something lingering beneath the surface? "Lily, are you okay?" Sarah's concerned voice brought her back to the present. "Yeah, just thinking," she said, forcing a smile past the creeping doubts. "We're counting on you out there." "You're a natural," Sarah encouraged, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Taking a deep breath, Lily refused to allow her anxieties to overshadow the moment. She was here. They were all working together for a bigger cause, and for once, her hopes seemed to align with everyone else's. Hours flew by, and when it was finally time for the event to kick off, the room filled to capacity. The soft glow of fairy lights draped across tables and the laughter of friends filled every corner. Maseon stood beside her, basking in the warmth of the laughter, his eyes shining as he glanced at Lily. "Showtime," he said, grinning widely. With guests eagerly waiting, Jamie took the mic, introducing the event with infectious energy. When it was Lily's turn to speak, she stepped up to the podium, her palms a little sweaty but her heart brave. The crowd quieted down, anticipation palpable. "Thank you all for being here," she began, feeling the solidity of the moment. "Together, we have the power to make a difference." But just as she began to share their vision, a sudden commotion erupted in the audience. Lily's heart dropped as she caught sight of a couple of people arguing just a few feet away, their voices rising like a tidal wave. Mason's eyes locked onto her, concern etched across his face. "Lily, stay here," he mouthed, moving toward the commotion, but she felt an urge to follow. As she slipped off the stage, her chest tightened. Would this be the moment everything changed for better or worse? Lily rushed to Mason's side just as the argument intensified. "What is going on?" she asked, her voice steady, but her heart raced. He turned, his face serious. "It's about a donation dispute. We need to resolve this quickly before it turns chaotic." They both stepped forward, ready to face this unexpected challenge together. It ignited the concern in her chest, but also a sense of purpose. Just then, a whisper of doubt flickered within her. Where was the line between chaos and change? Would they stand strong during this storm? Together, they stood, ready to confront the unexpected. But what would happen when the dust settled? And could they still harness this energy to not only strengthen their partnership but also inspire those around them? Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding as she and Mason reached the epicenter of the chaos. The room buzzed with anxiety, people turned to watch, their murmurs a rough backdrop to the harsh argument unfolding before them. She felt Mason's presence beside her, strong and reassuring, and she knew it was time to act. "Excuse me. Can we all just take a minute?" she called, her voice slicing through the tension like a hot knife through butter. Eyes turned to her, expressions a mix of surprise and confusion. "We're all here for the same reason, to make a difference for our community, so let us remember that." Mason nodded in agreement, stepping forward as well. "This isn't just about donations, it's about people coming together and lifting each other up. We can resolve this with kindness." His calm demeanor had an instant effect. The arguing parties paused, the volume dwindling under the weight of his sincerity. "There's enough food and love here for everyone," Lily continued, feeling the support of the crowd behind her. "Let us talk this through." A middle-aged woman stepped forward, anger still simmering in her eyes. "But they promised a larger donation, and now it's been cut. They're impacting families that desperately need this." Lily's chest tightened. She understood the frustration. "Let us address these concerns together," she replied. "No one will walk away empty-handed. This food drive is for everyone in this community." There was a subtle shift in the atmosphere, a softening in the crowd. She began to see nods of agreement among the onlookers. Mason scanned the faces, gauging the mood, and smiled at her, his eyes glowing with pride. Suddenly, Jamie joined them, stepping in as a mediator. "Let us be transparent. We are here to support one another. Why don't we open up a channel of communication about the promises?" As the three of them united, they brought the room back to life. The harsh whispers faded, replaced by calm discussions, and soon, plans blossomed from the chaos. Guests began collaborating on solutions, assuring that everyone's contributions would matter. What had started as an argument turned into a powerful dialogue about community support, evoking a collective spirit that filled the room with warmth and understanding. Just when the tension subsided, a voice called out from the back. "I just want to say how proud I am of you girls." It was Mrs. Jenkins, tears glistening in her eyes. "You've turned this into something beautiful. This is what community is all about." Support echoed back from all corners. The moment brought warmth to Lily's heart, and when she looked at Mason, a smile spread across his face. "I guess you really can turn chaos into light," he murmured to her, awful wonder in his tone. "Together," Lily corrected, her eyes sparkling. In that moment, they transformed into partners not just in the food drive, but in a mission to uplift others alongside their newfound friends. With renewed energy, the event resumed, laughter filling the air again as people rallied around the twins' vision, sharing ideas to boost donations. Volunteers sprang back to action, hearts uniting in resolve. As dusk painted the sky in deep shades of twilight, the space transformed into a haven of hope. The community gathered around the stage again, ready to listen to not just speeches but the stories of support that connected every heart in the room. Sarah stepped up to the mic, her voice full of enthusiasm. "We're not just raising food, we're raising each other." Tears of joy pooled in Lily's eyes as she gazed at her sister, at Mason, at the crowd. The fight they had endured brought them all together, blooming into something bigger than either of them had dared to dream. When the final hashtag of the charity event trended on social media, signaling town-wide support, she beamed at Mason, and together they knew they had achieved a monumental change not just in their community, but within themselves. "What do you think? Ready for the next challenge?" he asked playfully, their banter lighting up the atmosphere. Lily smiled, her heart brimming with gratitude. "Absolutely. We can do this as long as we do it together." In that fleeting moment, the weight of doubt dissolved, leaving behind a bright promise for the future. They felt empowered, ready to embrace whatever came next with open hearts and unwavering spirits. As the crowd erupted in cheer, the dark clouds of uncertainty parted, revealing a horizon full of hope. Together, they had transformed troubles into triumphs, and what they had begun as a small act of kindness had blossomed into a movement. They stepped off the stage, hand in hand, ready to face tomorrow and all its possibilities. This was just the beginning. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the love. Comment your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let's build this community together. Don't wait not even one more second to share.